All right, so we're gonna be doing my leg workout today. I got some new movements I'm gonna be showing you, but this is gonna be a raw video. So we're gonna be doing the workout and I'm gonna be sharing some cool things going on in my life, what I'm up to. So this is gonna be fun. But first things first, we're gonna be doing a new variation of the Bulgarian split squat. So let's jump in. So this is a cool way of doing the Bulgarian split squat. I learned this from Paul Carter, Lift Run Bang. We're actually planning on doing a workout together. I think he's in Nashville. So essentially, right, you're gonna have one leg forward, one leg back, and you're gonna use this for balance. You can't go as heavy because you're only holding one dumbbell, but it feels really good. Really feel it right here. So I injured my knees years ago, so I don't like to go crazy heavy. This just feels awesome. So just right here, we're gonna kind of build up to, we'll see. So this crushes the quads and glutes, and the Bulgarian split squat really helps kind of build a bit more of that VMO. So let's jump in. Let's start with 30s. Okay, here we go. Just straight back. Feels great. It feels very good. So for this one, you want to have the opposite. If your front leg is forward, the opposite hand is going to hold the dumbbell right here and just and I've done like two-hand Bulgarian split squats, like 100 pounds, 105, and I don't think you need to go that heavy. So with the leg training, here I'm working on a little bit of progressive overload, but I'm not overdoing it. I really push the weights on the lower body. I just want to keep it athletic, functional, and really the key is I'm 33. The key is staying injury free and feeling good. Doing 100-pound dumbbells on Bulgarian split squats or doing crazy stuff, and then your knees hurting is kind of a net negative. So I just want to stay really injury free, functional, healthy, be able to sprint fast, jump high. So I'm not overdoing it. And even I've seen this, with people that get up to 100 pounds on Bulgarian split squats, you start to you almost tear your hip flexor. So you don't need to obsess. And especially you can get very strong on Bulgarian split squats. If you're starting at 40s, you can get to 50s, 60s, 70s. You don't need to rush the progressive overload. Take your time, milk out the muscle growth, and don't just try and rush adding weight, because sometimes your form, you'll sacrifice form. So if you're doing 55s, give yourself 3-4 weeks to build up to 60s, then 65s. Get some solid workouts with that weight before adding the weight. Just because you hit say it's 60-pound dumbbells for 8 doesn't mean you're not going to build muscle staying at 60s for a few weeks. Give yourself a few weeks to really master that weight before increasing it. Now I've been getting, these last 2 years, it's funny. I remember when I was 19, I did my thesis on intermittent fasting. I was building my thesis on fat loss, right? And we probably were one of the biggest forces on YouTube pushing intermittent fasting back in 2011, 12, 13, millions of views. Hundreds of thousands of people started fasting, and it kicked off this catalyst with more experts coming in. And so now I've literally the last 2 years, I've just been building my thesis on capital allocation, right? And if you want to preserve wealth, what do? Right? You do what everyone else does. You're diversified, right? You own US equities, you own this, you own that, right? You do some SPY. But when you actually want to build wealth, you must concentrate. Diversification is a defensive strategy. So I've been spending the last 2 years studying and built my thesis around Bitcoin. Bitcoin is going to $1 million. And it's going to happen faster than you think. In the next 5 to 8 years, we're going to see a $1 million Bitcoin. The writing is on the wall. We're seeing it happen right now. It is, because people think, oh, wait, Bitcoin, right? They think Bitcoin, like, you can't eat Bitcoin, you can't live in Bitcoin. Bitcoin doesn't pay you dividends, right? So why would you want Bitcoin? The problem we have is that cash, fiat, is a melting ice cube. Bitcoin is 21 million digital finite coins, right? They can't print more of it. It's finite. No other crypto coin has that finite aspect to it. Secondly, right, it's 100% secure. The network, people trust the network. It's absolutely secure, okay? It cannot be hacked, cannot be broken, cannot be changed. The math is sound. You can transport money very, very easily. It's like taking gold, making it digital, making it completely finite, incorruptible. Gold, you have to authenticate, right? Bitcoin, it's just a trust network. And so people are looking, where can I put my capital? This is like, we are in the Bitcoin gold rush. This is the strongest place to put your capital. I mean, if you think about it, even in real estate, right? A lot of people just buy real estate as an investment, right? Not even to live in it, right? They want to own it as an investment. And so Bitcoin is going to go to $1 million through, one, it's the strongest asset in the world right now. It's the absolute best asset. Two, the adoption is happening at crazy levels. It's a race to get Bitcoin. Everyone's trying to buy Bitcoin. Countries, nation states, companies, it's a complete race to buy Bitcoin. And it's happening. And in 10 years, it's going to be boring. Everyone's going to be like, yeah, you should have Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's going to grow at, 18, 19% a year. But right now is like the exciting part.
So you don't think it's bad to buy at this all-time high, supposedly?
I think it is never a bad time to buy the greatest asset on earth. Trying to wait and time the market is it's a fool's errand. It's a fool's errand. I mean, look, if Bitcoin has become mature in the last couple of years, Bitcoin's become mature. What happened in 2021, 2022, right? You had a massive crypto exchange that committed massive fraud, which crushed trust. You had the biggest rate hike ever. They increased the interest rates by 22-fold, right? You had the China mining ban. So the entire crypto atmosphere just got fucking rocked and things crashed, 77%. Now you have the government endorsing Bitcoin. Now we have like clear regulation, right?
What government is endorsing Bitcoin?
The US government. They're completely behind it. I think the whole Trump inner circle is like stacking Bitcoin at like crazy levels. And this is also, if you look at politics, right? What happens when every single time someone becomes a president, a prime minister, right? What do they get paid? $200,000, $250,000 a year, right? They position themselves to make shit tons of money. Every single time someone becomes president, prime minister, they come out, right, with a way bigger net worth. Now, Trump was the only president in his last presidency to come out poor. His position is he's going to set his Bitcoin position. He's going to endorse Bitcoin. He's going to put things together to actually create a Bitcoin fund, right? A Bitcoin stockpile for the US government. That's going to create an arms race, and then his position is going to skyrocket. So he's going to make billions of dollars in Bitcoin. And he's going to be able to set it in motion faster. His son, Eric Trump's a massive Bitcoin guy. This is sort of and if you think about it, Trump, he's a real estate guy, right? And so he's used to owning land that appreciates, taking on lots of leverage, and Bitcoin's digital real estate. Now he's doing it in a completely different fashion. So I actually think that Trump, right? His incentive is for Bitcoin to do very, very well, right? But anyways, you have the U.S. government is completely endorsing Bitcoin. You have BlackRock, which arguably has the most power in the world, has a Bitcoin ETF with $70-80 billion. It's the best performing ETF by far ever. So they're endorsing it. The floodgates are open. Capital's pouring in. Bitcoin's finite, right? There's only so much Bitcoin there. So that's going to create that supply crunch, and it's going to shoot the price higher. Yeah. But so it's never a bad time to buy Bitcoin. Just buy Bitcoin. The idea of seeing an 80% drawdown again is over now that we have this amount of adoption. Like Bitcoin can drop 30-40%, but right now they have barely dropped the interest rates. They're going to start dropping the interest rates in the next few months, and that's going to create. If you look at Bitcoin, right, Bitcoin is linked to liquidity. So as they flood cash into the market, Bitcoin is going to do very, very well. Yeah, people, you need to find a place to store your energy, right? You have to find a place to store your energy. You can't store your energy, right? And if you look at the S&P 500, it's been doing 12%, I think, over the last decade. Okay, and then you have to go pay capital gains, and you're right in line with inflation. You know that in Toronto, 2002, right? So if you go back just over 20 years ago, you could buy, the average home was like $270,000 in Toronto. Now it's like 1.2 million. So the inflation is off the fucking charts, right? So if you want to actually get richer, right, you have to figure out where to put your money. But I did the research 2 years ago, and I was telling people at 40 grand that Bitcoin was going to $1 million, and to buy Bitcoin now it's at almost 120,000, so it's 3x'd. So if I'm not just getting swept up in now. Everything is going according to what I believed. Almost everyone has bought some Bitcoin, wrote it up, sold it, and then they're like, fuck, I already missed I think even Dave Portnoy said that, right? And so that's actually it's sort of a illogical way of looking at it, okay? Well, I bought it when it's lower, I sold it, so I don't want to buy it now that it's 70 grand, 80 grand, right? That's a losing bet. You got to just look at the landscape clean. I have $1 million or 2 million or 20K. I got to put it somewhere. You got to start fresh. Where's the best place to put it? Well, I bought Bitcoin. No, that's sort of a fallacy of thinking. Yeah, just buy the greatest asset. I mean, I bought Bitcoin at what, 30 grand, 25 grand. I bought Bitcoin at 105 grand. So just keep buying the greatest asset, right?
Where do you think it goes after $1 million? Like it just becomes mass adoption. Everyone starts using it as regular currency.
$1 million is just the beginning. I mean, we'll go.
Will it stop just being like a goal and an actual transactional thing?
So the use case of Bitcoin is the base layer. It's capital storage, right? So people say, what does Bitcoin do? You can't live in it. You can't fucking eat it, right? It's like the use case of Bitcoin is the greatest use case in existence. Every single person needs to store capital. If you want to store energy without it melting, that's Bitcoin, right? So for doing transactions and stuff, there's going to be other stable coins that are way more efficient, right? So Bitcoin doesn't need to do everything. Bitcoin's job is to be secure, to be finite, and to not be controlled by insiders, right? So Bitcoin doesn't have to do everything. And it's by design. It's expensive, right? By design. Because then it's completely hard to attack. Like if you wanted to hack, it would be harder, right, to hack the Bitcoin network and try and find a chink in the armor than actually it'd be more expensive. It'd be cheaper just to buy Bitcoin. Yeah, I think we're gonna hit $210,000 this year is my prediction. 210K this year. And I think 2026 will also do well. And the 4-year cycle is dead. It's not going to be a 4-year cycle anymore.
Why do you think that? Because of the amount of capital being poured in?
Well, because, I mean, the 4-year cycle, it was based on the halving, right? You have a halving every 4 years, right? So the supply gets shocked every 4 years. So the dynamics would kind of fit into this 4-year cycle. Now, we've only seen Bitcoin hasn't been around for, 30, 40 cycles. There's only been a few, right? So people are going to start arbitraging the halving. So they're going to start playing it. But the halving is almost irrelevant because there's not enough Bitcoin. The amount of Bitcoin released every day through mining is being bought up already. And so there's just there's not that much Bitcoin circulating the supply through mining. So it's not going to have a big impact on the supply dynamics. And then there's way bigger things going on. Like, if the interest rates come down, Bitcoin's going to behave like a more mature asset. a $2 trillion asset is going to behave differently than a $200 billion asset than a $20 billion asset. So, I mean, Bitcoin essentially is the 6th biggest asset in the world. It's gonna, and then these ideas of having like a massive 70% drawdown and then 2 years sort of crypto winter and then a comeback, like that's gonna be old news. And I mean, we could, like the last cycle, if interest rates hadn't gone up by 22x, if there wasn't all this like fraud and, regulation uncertainty, it may not have had that same crash, right? So you don't want to learn the wrong lesson and apply the past to the present, right? Without looking at all the data. So like 2020, like typically, right? Some people are thinking in 2026, Bitcoin's going to crash down to 50K, so I'm just going to buy it at 50K. Good luck, you're going to miss it. You're going to miss it. There's Bitcoin's not going down to 50K. There's just way too much buying happening. Way too much. It's not a little, it's not a little, it's a different game when you have BlackRock and MicroStrategy buying billions and billions of dollars of frickin' Bitcoin every week. It's a different game. And now, you might have different, nation states just opening the floodgates. Felt good. Felt very good. Yeah, it's also like a little safer on the knee too, because you can make sure you're in line. If you have two weights, you will lean a bit. So this is a little bit safer on the knees. Okay. Felt good. So I mean, full disclosure, I was an early investor in the exchange Kraken. So I am incentivized to tell you to use Kraken, but I actually like Kraken. Lower fees, and they don't promote as much shitcoins. So I would say use Kraken. Then you can send money, via your bank, even, electronic transfers or credit card, whatever you want, to Kraken. Buy it on the exchange, and then you want to take the money off of Kraken, put it in cold storage, and you use Blockstream. That way it's your Bitcoin. You don't have the exchange controlling and holding your Bitcoin. So that's, one way to do it. And I have a mix of, real spot Bitcoin. I have some IBIT. I have some Bitcoin ETF in some of my accounts. And I have, MicroStrategy is a company that buys Bitcoin, raises money, buys more Bitcoin. And so it's like, it has an acceleration effect on Bitcoin. It's like, it's more volatile, right? And so it outperforms Bitcoin during like the bull cycle. So I have a lot of MicroStrategy, and I like MicroStrategy a lot. It has two growth vectors. Bitcoin going up, right, is one growth vector. The other growth vector is their treasury activities through doing convertible debts, through doing yield instruments, for doing, ATM, right? They're able to increase the amount of Bitcoin you have per share. So right now, if you buy 50, 60 grand worth of MSTR, you get about half a Bitcoin, right? Because there is a premium. But over time, as they do the Bitcoin yield, in a few years, you could have 2 Bitcoin, right? So it's positioned to outperform Bitcoin. So I like MSTR as an aggressive power play. But I would say like, your compound lifts, that's your Bitcoin. And then, like your isolation is your MSTR, a little extra pump work for fun, I mean, but I'm doing the opposite. I'm 80%, I'm 60% MSTR, 40% Bitcoin.
Oh, really? Yeah. Why?
Yeah, well, because I believe that MSTR is going to fucking crush it. And I think that like $1 million in Bitcoin, yeah, it can go to 10 million over the next 8 years. But $1 million in MSTR will go to like 30. So it's just efficiency. It's you can do, more gains with less money. Last set here, just simple. But the goal here, and why I bring this up is like, the goal is you want to be lean, healthy, fit, strong, right? You must be lean, fit, healthy, strong. And as you make money, right, the better shape you are in, the more you can enjoy your money for more years, right? If you're 55, like most 55-year-olds, and you're fucking low testosterone, you're overweight, you're low energy, you can't really enjoy the fruit of your labor. As a 55, I was hanging out with our coach, Scott. He's 57 years old. Guy's a fucking stud. The waitress was hitting on him, giving us free espresso martinis that I didn't even want. I drank a free espresso martini, and now I was up till 3 a.m, not able to sleep. But guy's a freaking stud. Even myself right now, like I don't have to work 12 hours a day. I do what I love, and I work, 4 hours a day, and I love it, right? And then I spend time, just relaxing, doing what I want. I can travel. I could go, if I want to fly tomorrow to Paris, I could do that. Like, there's not a billionaire in the world that I would trade my life with. Not a single billionaire, even a young billionaire. I have freedom. And I have and most of these billionaires, they're out of shape. They got low testosterone, right? They're fucking chugging a million things. So I call it this is a different sort of lifestyle. Freedom, being fit, right? Letting your money work for you, doing what you love, creative work, a few hours a day. But it takes time to kind of create that setup. But now I make more money from my investing than my business. And that's only going to compound. Okay, nice. That felt good. Yeah, I think that the real Satoshi is a mix of two people. I think it's actually two people. And one of them is Adam Beck. Adam Beck was the only person referenced in the white paper. He had the technical skill and ability to actually create Bitcoin. The white paper uses British English, right? So every instance, right, when it's a British spelling, American spelling, it's British. Who is British? Adam Beck. Adam Beck, funny enough, right? Satoshi, Japanese person, right? Satoshi. Adam Beck is now a big investor in Metaplanet, which is doing a Bitcoin treasury strategy. And, it's kind of symbolic. So, I think Adam Beck and one other person who I think passed away, I forget his name, actually together created the archetype of Satoshi. And so I think he's just going to hold that wallet, Okay, so we're gonna do some Nordic curls here. I haven't had the luxury of doing this in a while because my gym I've been going to doesn't have it. So this is really close to the ankles. This is harder. So first set, I'm just gonna do a warm up. But again, it takes months to build up to doing a complete one. So usually most of you guys, you wanna just do 4 reps. If you do 7, 8 reps, you create a bit more fatigue. If you wanna get stronger at a movement and master a movement, 4 reps. If you wanna practice doing assisted one-arm chin-ups and get stronger, 4 reps. 7, 8, is good for building muscle, but to really master a hard exercise that you can't do, 4 reps. So we'll do assisted here. So down here, I can do a bit more reps because I've already mastered it. Right? That's even a sign of masculinity, and even high testosterone is you're unshakable, right? If you believe something and there's 100 other guys around you, they're telling you you're wrong, if you have a low T, it's harder to stand up to it. You kind of oh yeah, you're right, the sky is red. But if you have high T and you're unshakable, you're like, no, it's blue. So the more unshakable you are, it's actually a trait of strong masculine power. And so as a man, as you get older, you want to kind of build the case, build the things that you're unshakable on. What do you believe in? And obviously, you want to be scientific, and if you're wrong about something, you want to correct it. You want to correct yourself, but you want to have your belief system, right? You want to develop your belief system.
Do you buy your Bitcoin in LLC or personal? Does it even matter?
You trying to hack my shit, bro? I have you can do whatever you want, man. You can do personal, you can do anything you want.
So is it very unhackable?
Some people even say, but Bitcoin, it's what the criminals use. Bitcoin is the worst thing to use if you're a criminal, right? Everything is printed, it's inscribed onto the ledger, right? So any transaction you do is visible for everyone. It's complete transparency. So that's also why the U.S. government has like literally confiscated billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin, right? Because they can see it, and then they look through someone's house computer, they find their codes. So Bitcoin, the way you hack it, right, is I just steal your codes, right? So you have to be very secure. You got to put it somewhere safe. You got to put it in, So as long as you have your code secure and no one finds it, then you're fine. And if you're someone where like all that stuff goes over your head, and maybe just start with buying a little Bitcoin ETF, at least capture the upside, but then over time, you want to get some cold storage, especially if you're, I know all the stuff that you're into, and like, but if you do not have 100% trust in the government, if you're a little shaky on the government, then you should have cold storage Bitcoin. If you have absolute, I love the Canadian banks, I trust the government, they're amazing. Okay, then just do the Bitcoin ETF. I do both. Okay, here we go. So this time I'm gonna do just 4 reps, but I'm gonna do nice and easy here. Oh. Oh. So you want to control the negative, but you want to power up. I like when I'm lifting or training the split squats, I want to power up. Why? Because your ability to develop force quickly, right? That's athleticism. If you're sprinting, if you're jumping, if you're playing sports, you need to activate your muscle very, very quickly. And now they're seeing that plyometric exercise or your reaction time is key for older people not to fall. That ability to, I misstepped and then boom, adjust. So when I lift weights, for most movements, right, most of the time, especially if it's a push, a pull, right, a squat or whatever, Bulgarian split squat, I'm exploding. I'm teaching my body to develop force very, very quickly, and this makes you more athletic and powerful, and in turn, it also makes you stronger because by developing force quickly, you're going to be able to get stronger than lifting a weight slower. So I believe it's going to lead to better muscle gains, and the research seems to support that. And also, people think that like a slow negative, like the muscle gain happens from the negative, complete and absolute myth. You are much stronger on a negative, right? So if I'm lifting a weight and I'm lowering it, I can actually lower a lot more weight than I can lift concentrically, right? So you need to train your body close to failure to develop mechanical tension. If lowering weight is easy, that's not going to be the stimulus to build muscle. So the concentric is where the muscle gain happens, right? The eccentric, you just want to control it, okay? You just want to keep your form solid, control it. You don't want to just drop it, right? You want to control it, but I do kind of a smooth lowering. If I'm lifting, I go up and I'll smooth lower up. I don't drop it, but if you go too slow, you fatigue yourself, right? And then you get less reps, less total work, it's less effective for muscle growth, right? So the muscle gain comes from the concentric. And then doing very, very, very heavy. So if you were gonna do like, I can bench press 300 pounds, but I'm gonna do 340 pounds and do a negative, the challenge with that is, yes, you are challenging yourself, right? Because you're overloading the eccentric. So you are creating a lot of tension, right? But it is brutal for fatigue and to recover. So it's way too much to recover from. So it's not an efficient way to train. But to close the loop on this Bitcoin conversation, like my message is choose your own level of involvement. Do the research. And where do you feel aligned? Maybe 0 Bitcoin is where you're at. Maybe 5%, maybe 10%, maybe 80%. But you choose your own level of involvement. What I'm doing is not necessarily what you should do, okay? That's also why this is not financial advice. Like, I'm doing what fits for me. You need to look at your life, your situation, and do your homework, right? Because the worst thing that can happen is you buy Bitcoin off someone else's word, you see it drop 30%, you panic, you sell, and then you miss the comeback. And then you're all upset, So you have to have your own sort of self-knowledge. You want to make a decision from your own self-knowledge, where you listen to me, you listen to 10 other people, you read some books, you do your research, you study it, you watch it, you get a small position, and then over time, you build that unshakableness. Watch a little Kinobody, and then go live your life. Okay, here we go. Just 2 sets on this one is really good. Just 2 sets is all she wrote. That felt very good. Yeah. Shorts are tight, man. I think I gained some serious muscle or fat. So we did some Bulgarian split squats, we did some Nordic curl. So here, a little extra quad work. This is the reverse Nordic curl. So I'm gonna do this assisted, just get a nice deep stretch in the quads. And you know, we're gonna work on this. So here we go, nice and easy. I gotta be careful with my knees, but this one is feeling pretty good today. Not too bad. Move this forward to make it harder. Yeah. Whew. I'll just do a couple sets of this. Interesting. So I've been getting this question now. People asking me, what are my thoughts? When am I gonna have a family? Am I ever gonna settle down? And so, of course I'm gonna settle down. What are you talking about here? Of course I'm gonna have kids. Jeez, of course. I'm not in a crazy rush. I have my frame, my vision of how I want my life to unfold, right? And I'm not like, my life is very full with a lot of goals, a lot of things going on, and when I'm ready for that chapter, it will be happening, right? So, you know, even I was talking to, you know, actually I have different coaches. So I talked to this coach and he's like, you want to start a family. Like, start a family when you're very enthusiastic about starting a family, right? So you got to take the positives and the negatives. And honestly, right now I'm blessed. I have 2 nieces and nephew. It's freaking amazing. You know, I have such a bond with my nieces and nephew, and I'm enjoying that. I'm enjoying being the uncle. It's amazing. And then, you know, when you're gonna have kids, like, this person you're gonna marry and be with is gonna be in your life forever now. And so you have to like pick the right partner. So I'm like, my bar is high. I gotta meet the right partner to want to actually start that chapter. So I'm not in any rush. Look at like Stallone, right? Sylvester Stallone. I think he was 38, 39, 40 when he got married and started a family. Like, so there's no rush. There's no rush. 33 is young. 33. I know what some of you are thinking. 33 is not that young. It's not that young, dude. I'm like in Wedding Crashers. Owen Wilson. You know, a couple young guys, like, we're not that young. Yeah, I'm getting up there. No, I'm in no rush. No, I mean, technically peak value as a man is about 38 years old. Peak value as a man is 38 years old. Funny enough, Daniel Craig in Casino Royale, 38. Brad Pitt in Troy, about 38, 39. Like, the biggest, most iconic male movie stars for their movies, around 38, 39. The peak, and that's only the case if you take care of yourself. You focus on, you know, being in shape, being healthy, you know, working hard, being responsible. But I mean, if you're listening and you're in love, you have an amazing girl in your life, you're 26, 27 years old, and you're starting a family, awesome. That's an amazing thing to do. I support that 100%, right? But don't start a family, right, if you're not ready, right? So, or don't be pressured into something. And also, I see this thing, which is really surprising. I've met guys that are like, I want to have an amazing big family, right? I want to have a big, awesome family, lots of kids. And they end up meeting a woman that's 40 years old that doesn't want to have kids, and they fall in love and they're dating them for 3-4 years. What are you doing? What are you doing? That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. If your vision is to build a family, and then you're with a girl that either doesn't want to have kids or she's past that window, you gotta be like ruthless to your goals. You want kids, you want a family. You gotta stick to that. If it's a mismatch, why would you be in that relationship? That's a win-lose. That's a negative, right? So you gotta meet someone that's aligned with your vision, right? You gotta meet a match. So even for me right now, I'm 33 years old. If I wanna wait 5 years to have kids, then ideally I need to date someone that's younger. If I date someone that's my age, she's gonna wanna have kids like right now, right? She's not gonna wanna start when she's 39. So I have to date at least a few years younger to align the values. So yeah, so sometimes you gotta think long-term, big picture here. And it's, biology's ruthless. Biology's ruthless. But one of the greatest things you can do in life is build your family, have children, right? So I'm totally on board with that, okay? But we all have our own timeline. And I'm still figuring out where am I gonna live, right? Right now I'm doing half my year in Miami, a little bit, Toronto, some traveling. I'm deciding where do I want to plant my flag and really live. I do like Miami a lot though. I really do. Miami and then like a summer place in Spain, I think is a good kind of mix, Oh, it felt nice. Nice little, this workout is not the workout, like if you want to just maximize your muscle growth to your legs, this isn't necessarily what I would program for you. But for me, I'm just trying to keep my legs strong, fit, functional, good level of muscle. I'm not trying to just max out strength and muscle right now. I'm just trying to keep my knees healthy and feeling good. But I like my leg size. I'm like 180 right now, which is a good weight. So my legs are definitely not small. To be 180 lean, 5'10", it's not that's like, if I had chicken legs and my body fat 5'10" natural, I would weigh like 168. You're not gonna be 180. Okay, do the math, run the numbers, do the math. Genetically, I've already had 1.5 kids because my sister and brother, I have 2 nieces and a nephew. So the DNA equivalent of 1.5 of my own kids. So my DNA is spreading through the family genes. So I'm way ahead of you guys. I'm way ahead. And I see like the oldest, right? Michaela, I see her and I'm like, Michaela, like I can feel the like the same blood, It's like, oh my God, like it's one of us, I feel this bond, this attachment. So, like my older brother and sister, they're popping out babies, right? So I can be the fun uncle for a few more years, Fun, but it is important to have your own for sure. And what's the craziest part? Literally, I was posting something about this, about how, we've seen T levels come down 40%. We've also seen sperm counts be cut in half. And I had someone that's posting about this DM me. Literally, I was trying for years to have a baby. I started taking Mojo 3 months ago, and my wife's pregnant. And I posted that, and I had 3 other people that said the exact same thing. So when you improve your testosterone, right, the ingredients inside Mojo, it can help support fertility. So it's there's Mojo babies happening like you couldn't imagine. You get lean, you get fit, you get healthy, you follow the steps in like the Mojo protocol, you get your free T up, and like, dude, like you're shooting powerful fucking like, Jesus, man. Like, it's crazy, man. Crazy, dude. Like fucking, your shit gets fucking potent, man. You gotta watch, you gotta be careful. If you're not trying to have kids, you gotta be fucking careful, man. You gotta be very, very careful. Don't do that fucking pull-out technique on Mojo. It's fucking risky, man. Let's go nice and easy here. I'm gonna add a weight. But like, there's so many reasons though why. Like, it's proven that people, like, generally, I think, are happier when they build a family. Like, it's proven, It adds so much meaning to your life, and like the number one what's the greatest driver of happiness and fulfillment? It's social, it's connections, it's friends, family, romance, right? That's the biggest driver. So some people, like, you don't want to just be hyper focused on just making money and fitness, right? That's half the equation. One of the things that makes humans more fulfilled, right, is you need to be able to invest in something, right? Like if you're in school, right? Like this was me. I was in university. I couldn't invest in university. I couldn't engage, right? And so you don't get fulfillment and you don't grow if you can't invest. And so even in a relationship, right? If you're in a relationship and you're half into it, you're not even into this girl, but you're dating, you're not investing, right? She didn't trigger your investment. And same thing, if you're dating a girl and she's not investing, right? She's not into it. So humans feel very, very good when they invest. And usually in most relationships, you usually have one person is a little bit higher. There's one person adoring and the adoree, right? And so funny enough, being the person that gets adored, you think that would be the better role, but you get more dopamine, more excitement from being the person that's adoring someone, right? And so, long story short, if you have a hard time investing, finding things, oh, I don't want to invest in anything, like the brain, right? If you have children, your brain is just fucking clicked, just hyper investment, and it feels good to invest and care for something. Good. What we have here is nice and easy on the legs. Nice and easy. The other thing with legs is like, if you go fucking crazy on legs, hitting legs, super heavy, intense twice a week, it's very hard to do that and not want to eat fucking 4,000 calories. So I have to manage my leg training with my appetite. I hit my legs nice once a week, get a good stimulus, and I let it marinate, you know? But if I was to go, like, when I've done like crazy leg workouts, I'm like, I want to eat everything. You know, all this talk about fucking, I want to have a baby. And like a lot of guys, like, they just, I want a son, right? I would be so happy to have a daughter, son, all, like I'm like, you know, in due time. I actually almost, you know, like, we've gotten close. You know, so yeah, it's just gotta have the right partner, and that's it, you know. You gotta have the right partner. Yeah. You want kids?
Fuck yeah.
You comment below, do you want to have kids, you know? And this circles back to Bitcoin, right? If you want to raise kids, you need to have the finances in place. And cash is a melting ice cube. Go back to your parents, grandparents' generation. One person could work, right? Have 2 cars, nice house, and they would have to work hard, but like they were good. They'd drive you to soccer practice. They had a life that could support 3 kids. Because of inflation, because of massive money printing, 8% money hitting the fucking market every year, you can't do that anymore. So inflation has actually robbed people from really being able to have kids. It's too fucking expensive. People can't afford to buy a home. The average house, which is like freaking a shitty house in Toronto, is $1.2 million now. $1.2 million. 2002, it was like under 300 grand. Has the average wage gone up 4 or 5x? No. So inflation is making it fucking hard to build a family. Really fucking hard. Bitcoin is how you, like, Bitcoin's good. If you want to have kids, go and transmute your fiat into Bitcoin. Bitcoin is good for children. It's good. And then, you know, it's like the escape hatch for your children, you know? Like 1 Bitcoin today, which is now almost 120 grand, 110, 120K, in 20 years, right? Could very well be a $10 million Bitcoin. Very well. And that's just a 29, 30% compound a year, CAGR. So like, if you're thinking long-term, you're thinking about your children and everything, your job is to be lean, be fit, be healthy, be on the mojo, and get Bitcoin. Or not, you don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin. You can buy half a Bitcoin. You can buy 0.1 Bitcoin. You can buy, every Bitcoin is built up of 100 million Satoshis, micro units. So it's highly divisible. So some people are like, oh, but I can't afford a Bitcoin. Dummy, get whatever you get, $500. I don't just buy a full Bitcoin. I buy whatever I want. If I have money, I buy whatever that equates to. Could be 5% of Bitcoin, could be 107% of a Bitcoin. Like, you don't need, it's not an all or nothing thing. And then but now I'm reading the comments and I'm seeing a lot of people that are like, well, I could buy Bitcoin or I could buy a shit ton of XRP. And so that's not how you make a decision. That's not how you decide what to invest in. Well, this is cheaper, so I'll buy this. Bitcoin is real. XRP to me is bullshit, right? XRP to me is bullshit. Like 40% is controlled by insiders. They could flush it at any moment. Okay, the use case is shaky at best. They're gonna be the rails to banking, but like they've made very little progress, and there's so many other avenues that will be better, okay? I don't see them really achieving their goal. It's more of a meme coin. People are just buying it, jacking the price up, and it's really had pretty shitty performance over the last year. So XRP is like a gamble. It's a meme play. And to me, it's almost like that episode of Family Guy. Have you ever watched Family Guy? And Peter Griffin wins, and he has a choice. He can get this brand new, beautiful boat for his family, and his Lewis, whatever, his wife is there, is like, let's get the boat. Or you can get a mystery box, because a mystery box can be anything. It can even be a boat. That's your XRP. You have the finest, purest, most beautiful, finite, incorruptible, unshakable asset in the world, Bitcoin. It's going to 1 million, it's going to 2 million, it's going to 10 million in these next 20, 25 years. Or you have your XRP, a piece of shit coin that may do well, may not. Could it do great? Yes. But that's not how you want to invest. You want to invest where you're unshakable. You know, and yeah, could XRP 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8x and then fucking come crashing down if insiders fucking pull the rug on you? Yeah. And then if the story fails, right, and they don't get the traction and people actually start looking at it for what it is, then it can crash. So I don't see, do the homework. Don't just buy it off some video, like do the homework. Is XRP good? There's better crypto coins, right? There's better coins. I'm not into any of that stuff, but like Solana has a greater use case. But even Solana has its issues, right? So for me, it's very, very simple and clear. Bitcoin. And if you want to outperform Bitcoin, what do? You go and you buy MicroStrategy because they use financial instruments, raise money, convertible debts, yield instruments to arbitrage the gain that can increase Bitcoin per share. They get these two. So if you want greater gains than Bitcoin, it's simple. Without fucking having like just massive gambling and risk, you go MSTR. Like that's your play. But XRP, like if you're gonna buy XRP, just know, you just have to accept, okay, this could work, it couldn't fail, right? So like, it sucks losing money. Nothing feels shitty like losing money you worked your ass off. You worked hard for it, your blood, sweat, tears, time, and then you put in something and it goes up and then it comes crashing down. And I've been through that, so I've felt that. So I wouldn't touch XRP with a 10-foot pole. Wouldn't touch it at all. And I haven't seen one single person that could give me a strong thesis on why XRP will do well. It may do this, it can do this, maybe this will happen, maybe that, maybe the banking rails, maybe they got one bank, you got fucking one bank, and what's the market cap? Like, shut the fuck up. XRP is complete bullshit. Complete bullshit, you know? And again, like, you know what though? Like, I'll admit, it could do well. It could defy gravity, and it could outperform Bitcoin in the next decade, okay? But I would not bet money on that happening. That's a fucking Hail Mary and a half, you know? So just go where you fucking play games you can't lose. That's the key. Play games you know you're gonna win. You know you're gonna win with Bitcoin. XRP, you don't know, okay? But some people have like a gambling fucking they need the gamble, right? They need the gamble, and maybe they're disenfranchised. Well, I only have $7,000, so Bitcoin's not gonna fucking get me to $1 million, okay? Well, then your job is to put that 7K into Bitcoin and go and get another 7K. Go fucking get money. Focus on that, not gambling. The world does not reward you for gambling. It doesn't reward you for like, but it could go to $1 million, buying a lottery ticket. Even if you buy, people that buy lottery tickets will never become successful. It's because it's the worst mindset in the world to have. Everyone, I know people, even in my family and friends, the people that buy lottery tickets are the poorest. They never make money. I would never buy a lottery ticket. It's a bitch move. First of all, the mathematics is just crazy. You're never gonna fucking win. But second of all, what are you doing? You're putting your chance of success to something you have zero control over. I'm gonna give myself this little hope to maybe the 1 in 30 million chance that I win, right? You're putting your success in someone else's hands with literally near 0% chance. You need to put success in your hands. Then you're like, why would I buy a lottery ticket? It's a fool's errand. Even the time it goes to go there and buy the lottery ticket, you're doing it every week or every month. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. If you go and buy lottery tickets, you're a fucking loser. You know, the only people getting rich from lottery tickets are people that fucking run them. It's the dumbest thing you can do. Like, just slap yourself in the face, admit you're fucking dumb as shit, and go and focus on what you have control over. And it's not fucking buying a lottery ticket. It's trust me, in my entire family, friend circle, the people that are the most broke, have the most negative mindset, never amount to anything, are the ones that go and buy lottery tickets, you know? And maybe they've given up. Like I don't have, you know, it's a sad thing, lottery tickets, sad thing. And so some of these crypto coins is another form of that. It's like, well, maybe it will do 100, 200x, right? And some people have done well, right? And so, you know, if you want to just do a little position for fun and just admit, okay, this is a little gamble, but build the thesis on what you know you will win. Okay, what are we doing? We have to do another set here. Get heavier weight. Right here, we can do another set here. It's a very simple leg workout. We did some sort of one-arm Bulgarian split squats, really good for the quads, the glutes, a little bit safer with the knee. Then we went into some Nordic curls, really building the hamstrings. It's gonna hit a little bit of glutes as well. Then we did a little bit of that quad, reverse Nordic quad work. Nice stretch. It can help with some knee mobility. And then some back extensions. So just 4 movements. You could add in some calf raises, but just a simple, nice, smooth leg workout. My knees feel really good. For me, it's all about being healthy, strong, and you know, I put up the weight a little bit on the Bulgarian split squats, but it's not like that's not my like max. But I'm just getting the work in, and I'll probably go back to just holding 2 dumbbells soon once my knees feel really, really solid. But I like that one arm kind of style. It feels really good. And again, it's credit to Lift Run Bang, Paul Carter. He's got some great training stuff. So he's like, you know, there's not too many people in the last 10 years I really like being like, fuck, this guy's like got some good shit, and this guy's like gets it. Paul is probably that person. So, you know, he's got some good stuff. Okay, so we're gonna do one more set here. One more set here. Might throw in a little knee raise. Oh, nice. Felt great. Felt very nice.